What's up, dudes? Max here with an updated video to the latest game that has recently come out on PlayStation 4 in the Versus series, and that's Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3. A lot of you guys might not have realized, but over the past week or so, with the announcement of Marvel vs. Capcom Infinite, a port of the previous generation version of this game has come out on PlayStation 4, with the Xbox One and Steam version coming out in March of next year. It looks like Sony has a 4-month exclusivity on this thing right now, but how does it perform, and is it worth repurchasing the game over again? And the most important question of them all, how good is the netcode? One of the most appealing factors of this title is that it is $25, and you can actually purchase it. That seems a little weird to say, but it's true. Ultimate Marvel 3 on PlayStation 3 and Xbox 360 technically could not be purchased unless you went out to a store and found a used copy or an older new copy. The game could not be downloaded digitally, similar to Marvel Origins and Marvel vs. Capcom 2, so you literally couldn't just buy it online if you wanted, but now that's different with Ultimate Marvel 3, as this is completely digital at the moment, and there is going to be, apparently, a physical release coming up in March for PlayStation 4 and Xbox One. $25 is a decent asking price for what the game is, because it is indeed a port. Mostly everything you remember from the previous version of Ultimate Marvel 3 is here, along with a nice bonus art book upgrade that is in the gallery of the game. It also runs at a native 1080p instead of 720p, but you're not really going to get any other giant graphical upgrades. The biggest bonus is that it does include the DLC, which was all the alternate costumes, as well as the Jill and Shuma character DLC, which is kind of nice because I couldn't even get my hands on a lot of costumes I did not grab when the game got taken off of the marketplace a couple years ago. So this is kind of good news. It includes a lot of stuff, and I think it actually is worth its overall $24.99 price point. However, if you're looking forward to balance adjustments to characters or upgraded netcode, which is, in my mind, what I was the most excited for when they announced it at the PlayStation press event, then you are going to be disappointed. This is simply a port bringing the game to current generation systems, and there is not going to be any new development, as we heard at the PlayStation Experience, for this game. Ultimate Marvel 3 was a finished product back in 2011, and there's not going to be any new development on this title. And sadly, I wish there was, because one of the roughest things about the game is playing it online. There has also been some other minor things that people have picked up on, where the timing of the game is fairly similar to the PS3 version and not the tournament standard Xbox 360 version, so just a few things that are done in cinematics when you activate supers are a couple of frames off, which can throw off your timing, but most of the time it's only during situations where you can't control the character and you're watching a pre-canned cinematic. In terms of my own enjoyment of the game in the time I did play it, which was mostly spent online, yes, the game is beautiful to look at. It makes you realize how gorgeous of a game Ultimate Marvel 3 is, and it's, as a game itself, it's worth $25, but the online is just terrible. It reminds you how bad the netcode was in Ultimate Marvel 3 when the game came out in 2011, nearly or just about 5 years ago. So sadly, that hasn't gotten an upgrade at all, and the best version before that ran online was the Xbox 360 version, but I believe this one, because it seems to be based on the PS3 version, is using the PS3 version's netcode, and that one was by far the worst of the two consoles back in the day. It is possible to get good connections, but we're talking like maybe 2 out of every 10 matches. It became increasingly difficult throughout the evening to find matches that weren't stuttery or ridden by a whole bunch of input delay, which is one of the worst things to deal with when playing an online fighting game. You have to predict what your opponent's doing instead of reacting to it. Oddly enough, though, I found myself somewhat addicted to the situation of jumping back into a fresh, ranked Ultimate Marvel 3 all over again, where everyone else was of similar ranks trying to get their way up and get their wins, and that was just genuinely fun. I find it to be awkwardly addictive despite how horrible the netcode is in this game, and I kind of want to go back and play it more. It's very weird. It's a love-hate relationship I have with this title, because I absolutely love this game in itself. you can spend literally an entire year in training mode of this title and find nothing but the craziest combinations of team synergy, combos, and ridiculous TAC stuff that this game has to offer. The amount of creativity Ultimate Marvel 3 gives the player is bar none in the majority of fighting games that are out there right now, and it's freaking awesome to play this game. It's just frustrating when you can't land those combos against a person online because you're dealing with an average of like 15 frames of delay on any given match. Hope is not lost though. With the Steam version and the Xbox One version on the horizon, there is a chance that it could be modeled after the initial code that was from the Xbox 360, which seemed to have a little bit better net play than the PS3 version back in the day. However, the big thing is that the Steam version I have the most confidence about, not only because of the modding scene, but simply because when there has been versions of Capcom fighting games that have really bad delay-based netcode, for example, like Street Fighter 4, Ultra Street Fighter 4, they tend to run the best on Steam in comparison to their console counterparts, which leaves me a little hopeful that when this game does come out in March for the PC, that it could actually have a little bit better net play. I only hope, or maybe something can be done by the community. We don't know right now, but I can tell you that even with the horrible net play, I had a lot of fun with this game in the night I played it, just simply for the fact that it feels like there's a whole bunch of people playing, and that's one of the reasons you might want to consider picking it up if you're missing a Marvel title right now. Mostly everyone's playing the PlayStation 4 version. It's going to be hard to find people on the PS3 and Xbox 360 version. And if you just want to pick up this game, well, you got to go find a used copy or buy one off of eBay for the older systems. Or you can just jump online and buy it right now. I recommend Ultimate Marvel 3 on the game's merits alone, but I can't tell you guys to hope for an amazing online experience because that would just straight be lying. Ultimate Marvel 3 has some of the most frustrating netcode out there, and it was one of the reasons I stopped playing the game almost completely back in early 2013. However, to wrap this thing up, on some tests I did early this morning using the NetDuma router, which allows me to specifically target region, distance, and ping of players, I have kind of narrowed down the issues that Ultimate Marvel 3 has in terms of its net play. The reason the NetDuma router can actually work right now is because there's a lot of people playing on the PS4 version of the title at the moment, meaning that it has a good list of people to actually choose from. If we did the Xbox 360 or the PS3 versions like a month ago, there's nobody playing online, so it would not help us out. But since there's a pretty good pool of players, I was able to hook it up this morning and start targeting people that are under 100 ping, as well as within my close proximity, and I have found that pretty much distance is the absolute murdering factor in this game's netcode. The longer away someone is in terms of distance, the worse it is going to be, and this game has a hard time compensating for someone's connection unless it is pristine and perfect. Don't watch streams, don't download things, don't upload things when you're playing Ultimate Marvel 3 online, and you might actually have a decent experience with some connections, because when I was targeting only those good connections, I actually started having a lot of fun, and 5 of the 6 games I tried out with it were pretty decent and felt like the old Xbox 360 version. So, there is hope that this thing can get better in the future, but I don't think the PS4 version is going to get any patches of any kind, simply because Capcom has said this is a finished product from 2011 that is being ported to this system if you guys want to get it because you could not get it before digitally. As always, dudes, let me know what you think of Ultimate Marvel 3. I'm going to say you should probably pick this game up if you had not grabbed it before. Be a pretty good idea, but I'm going to leave it up to you if you want to jump back into it and you already own it on the older systems, other than just potentially waiting for the Xbox One version or the Steam version to come out in March of next year, and I hope that has some adjustments made to it, if not runs a little bit better on PC. Thank you guys a ton for watching. I'm going to be playing more Ultimate Marvel 3 on the channel because I do find the rank to be slightly addictive, regardless of how frustrating it is at the moment. But this game has a huge amount of fun factor, and when you eventually land that combo, oh my god, it feels good. As always, guys, thank you a ton for watching. My name is Max, and I'll see you next time.
Player 1 wins.